just happened. Law enforcement sources are confirming to Fox that an armed man was arrested near the Maryland home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. That happened early this morning. These are just the reports that we're getting in. And Sean, we know that the justices, there were protests outside of their homes. We know that those were encouraged. And of course, nobody was encouraging violence, but there was a great concern about violence. And thankfully, this person has been arrested. But your thoughts this morning as we get this breaking news that armed man has been arrested near Justice Kavanaugh's home in Maryland.
Now, why the hell this ain't all over the news? Why isn't this prime time? Instead, we hearing about some J6 committee, something that happened a year ago while our whole entire country is literally in a dumpster fire. We got inflation, gas prices, housing market, the stock market, everything's in chaos. We got people rationalizing baby formula. We got a straight-up invasion at our own borders while they send our tax-paying dollars to Ukraine when don't nobody have an idea what the hell is going on over there. We don't hear nothing about our own Supreme Court justices' lives almost being assassinated. Now, this whole story ain't add up to me anyway. You know the left, it don't surprise me anything that comes from the left. This is the party that is all about killing babies in the womb. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever that they would produce a nutball that would want to assassinate one of our Supreme Court justices on an opinion that hasn't even came out yet. The ruling hasn't even came out yet, which I think is nothing but a distraction. Here it is, I think it's supposed to be coming up here in about a week or so. But, we don't hear nothing all over media. This should be prime time news. One of our Supreme Court justices, literally someone made an attempt on his life at his home. But apparently they apprehended a nutball leftist that got a taxi or an Uber to drop his ass off in front of Justice Kavanaugh's house and seen all the marshals and whatnot out there. And then he began to start walking. He had a book bag full of shit, I guess stuff to break into the home, guns and crowbars and shit. A butt shit leftist that tried to make an attempt of an assassination that calls the cops on himself. Calls 911, says, I'm having these crazy thoughts. I want Kavanaugh dead. I'm here to take his ass out. Somebody please come and get me. They do things to get some type of recognition online so that they can be some type of hero. But this should be all over the news, but it's not. Instead, we got Pelosi saying that the justices are protected. No, they're not. This should have been taken care of a whole month ago. People were saying that our justices' safeties are at a major concern right now, and you guys are allowing people to break the damn law, because that's what they're doing. They're breaking a federal law. You are not allowed to picket a picket fence and have fire outside the justices' jurors' house. You can't do anything to try to persuade or have any type of influence on their decision for them to do their job. But yet the Democrats and the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and their bias, once again, they always talk about democracy, which we're not in a democracy. We're in a constitutional republic. The number two things that will kill, if we're going to speak the language of democracy, is showing that you don't value life. They are clearly showing that they don't value anyone that leans right or conservative's life. The opposing political faction, they don't value their life. And their silence is violence. They always say silence is violence. Well, Gingerbread that just stepped down and let the pro-black, gay woman, all the check boxes that the Democrats love to check off, that speaks for it now. That old Jen Psaki that said that this is just passion. Well, I guess their passion has turned into trying to assassinate our Supreme Court justices, and nobody's talking about it. Instead, you guys want a primetime J6. Like Jack Del Rio said, the dust up in J6. Nobody's talking about our Supreme Court justices' lives. Their lives will forever be in danger because of the person that leaked these people's addresses. And there should be some form of accountability. I'm sick of us, people that have our values, that have traditional American values, Christian values, conservative values, or vote Republican. I'm sick of it, of the double standard and the clear hypocrisy when it comes to our justice system. If this was a Supreme Court justice that lean left, they will be all over this. This will be spinning like till you're crazy in the head on media. But because it's one of the right-leaning Supreme Court justices, nobody's hearing about it. Instead, they're going to put this stupid stuff in the forefront of J6, which is nothing but a political charade. I talked about it in the other content. But this is wrong. This is a clear hypocrisy. Why is this allowed when this clearly breaks federal law? You cannot go outside and do this shit outside of a judge's home to try to persuade or influence them to make a different decision. But this is what the left does. Their behaviors, their actions, this shouldn't come to a surprise to you. We're used to this. They did this for 2 years under Trump with Black Lives Matter and Antifa. They're like children. They will kick and scream and scratch and pull and bang and throw things until they get their way. And we got to stop being soft and stand our ground and stand up to these people. They're wrong. What they think is wrong, what they think is right is wrong, and what's wrong is right. It's a backwards society. This is against the law. It's breaking federal law to do this. It is, man, but yet they don't speak about it. They say this is just passion. Whenever it's the Democratic Party, it's passion. No, they're just passionate. They're just passionate. And they do this, it messes with people that have an opposite opinion, which is, it divides us in this country more and more because people can see the hypocrisy of our justice system and see that, oh, certain groups of people in this country are allowed to get away with certain things and nothing will be done with it. So then in return, after people have seen, they normalize criminality, burn, looting, and murdering for over 2 years. Over 2 years of pure destruction and domestic terrorists on innocent people, private property, and government buildings. Nobody did nothing. Instead, we've seen all these Democratic talking heads, influencers online, speaking the language of we need to go bail them out. Bail them agitators out so that they can keep pushing the line. We have the Maxine Waters of the world that can go outside of courthouses and with mob justice and persuade people to do things if they don't get a verdict the way that they want. And nothing is done. And that's exactly what Jack Del Rio was talking about. The same shit we're talking about now. Here we are, they normalize burn, looting, and murdering. They normalize the poor, destructive behavior, the clear indicator they're breaking the law, the things that they're doing is wrong, and they keep painting it under the disguise of, oh, they're just passionate. And they're passionate about bringing equity and social justice to our country and our society. These people are a threat to our democracy. They normalize it so that the other half of America that clearly sees that this is a double standard and hypocrisy, they go out and they perform the same, demonstrate the same behaviors, and then they use the justice system, the corrupt justice system, to pursue them hyperbolically and overstep their overstep their jurisdiction, their rights. They overstep people's rights, like parents showing up at teacher conferences or to express themselves about the stuff that's going on in the schools and be labeled as domestic terrorists. This is how you erode any democracy when you don't value life and when the justice system is failing implementing the laws that are in place to keep us to live amongst each other in harmony. It's clear that our justice system is in the bed with the Democratic Party, and they are biased when it comes to implementing the law on certain people. What's y'all thoughts on this? I think this is a tragic. Our justices' lives are forever going to be at risk, and the people that leak their addresses, they should be held accountable. The Democratic Party should be held accountable. Now they're talking about implementing things to help protect our Supreme Court justices. We already had that. There's federal law, literally, that this is breaking the law. But yet every single day, the Department of Justice literally watches these people that are on the screen right now. Look at grandma with that dumbass mask on, literally breaking the law, protesting, antagonizing the neighbors, the family members of these people, these justices that are just trying to do their job and stick to the Constitution. What's y'all thoughts on it? I think this is terrible. If this was a left-leaning Supreme Court justice, it would be all over the news. They will be up in arms, but because they lean right, we guys know what it is. If this is your first time tuning in, I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. It's your boy Craig Law 45. I'm out. Peace.
Ya, uy.